Greetings YouTube! Well, this is a load of bollocks, isn't it? In case you were one of the only one person in the video game community that hasn't heard already, Spiderman has been confirmed to be appearing in the Avengers video game for the PS4. Oh sorry, are you on Xbox? PC? Go screw yourselves with the Infinity Gauntlet, cause you ain't getting shit! At least that appears to be the message from Crystal Dynamics. Jeff Adams, from the developer, confirmed the news in a blog post. What he didn't do was say whether Xbox owners would be getting anything exclusive themselves, or why this was even a thing that was happening. Publisher Square Enix has been even more evasive, simply pointing media demanding answers back to the blog post. Don't you just love how very fucking helpful the video games industry is? Of course, before Jeff Adams, the poor unfortunate sod who was probably pushed out unwillingly in front of the gaming media to explain why this latest piece of industry bullshit was somehow a blessing to players, the news had already been leaked via a retailer's website, base.com. The post was removed, but you've got to be quicker than that with video gamers, and the news was all over the net in 2 seconds flat. The news was treated with suspicion, understandable, skepticism everywhere, but it did raise questions about who Xbox was going to get as an exclusive, you know, in the event this was actually true. Well, it is. Okay, you see, on the one hand, I'm a PlayStation gamer, which means I'm gonna get this extra character. On the other hand, what the fuck? What made them think this was a good idea? Okay, sorry, let me rephrase that. What made them think this was a good money-making idea? By even vaguely keeping up with the video game industry news, I've learned to expect some shit in the name of profit, but I'm struggling to find the silver dollar buried in this turd. How was this exactly going to translate into extra cash? Some players, notably from both Xbox and PlayStation owners, have already said they're cancelling their pre-orders over this. At full disclosure, I'm buying this, but I can see their thinking. I still haven't bought Spyro's Reignited trilogy, and have no intention of ever doing so. I suppose adding Spider-Man to the PlayStation version adds to its attractiveness, but be serious, how many people were thinking before this news broke? Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, you know, I might have considered it, but no Spider-Man? No thanks. How many players were sat on the fence over this game? You can probably count them on one hand. You were either there at launch day, or you weren't. At the same time though, it diminishes the Xbox version, because now you're missing content someone else has. The industry often exploits this fact by having players showing off their bling in front of others, enticing them to buy it as well. Except here, Xbox owners simply won't be able to. Why would you do that? I don't understand. Why limit your sales on purpose? Why make one group think they're a bunch of undeserving tossers when you're still trying to get them to buy into your product? Why discourage people from buying? Why? Crystal Dynamics, Square Enix, how exactly did you see this conversation going? With the community, I mean. Paint me a picture of how brilliantly this reveal was going to go. You know, when you finally deem to tell everyone, PlayStation owners, you're getting a special treat. It's Spider-Man! Woohoo! Yeah, you fuckers over there don't deserve anything. You're not fit to be in its presence. In fact, you're not even allowed to lick the game case. We've coated yours in nightshade. I can't even begin to picture how that would have gone down well at the official reveal. Presumably they thought it was a good idea, otherwise they wouldn't have done it. I'm just struggling to find a reason that ends with the developer, the publisher, and maybe even the platform holder smelling like something other than petrol. I mean, fuck me, there's a lot of burning torches heading this way. The only other example I know of that pulled this shit is the exact same game everyone else has been referring to, Soul Calibur 4. There, the Xbox version had Yoda, and the PlayStation version had Darth Vader. And you know, that makes me very thoughtful. Because if they were to introduce a unique character to the Xbox version to balance out Spider-Man on PlayStation, who the hell did they have in mind? You'd have to pick a character that isn't too like an existing character on the roster. So War Machine would be too similar to Iron Man, for example. You know, wrist cannons instead of hand repulsors, minigun instead of unibeam. It'd play too much the same. And think about it. Given the choice, out of these two, who would you have picked? Yeah, exactly. You'd have to pick someone who could match Spider-Man's star power. That feeling that here comes something special you can brag to the PlayStation owners about. You could use a speedster like Quicksilver, or maybe a spellcaster like Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch, or one of the Guardians like Rocket Raccoon. Actually, now that I've said that, please don't do it. Don't make Rocket Raccoon an Xbox exclusive. I want him now I've said that. Please don't. I think I've accidentally picked a good one. To me, this move seems to have been explicitly calculated to piss off the maximum number of people possible. And you know, I've been racking my brains for the past few days since this news broke to come up with a reason that would reflect well on someone. Anyone. I'm about to sound like a paranoid conspiracy theorist, but bear with me on this. I think that Sony offered Square Enix a bag of gold and said, "Psst, hey, we'll let you play around with Spider-Man if you keep it only on our platform." I wouldn't put it past them. Firstly, it's not beyond the realm of possibility for a platform holder to offer an incentive for exclusive rights to something. It happens all the time. It's just that usually the something in question is an entire game. Some developers ages ago though figured out that gating content behind a paywall ends up splitting the player base, irritating them and lowering the quality of the experience. Splitting content between different sections of your players is just a bad idea. And secondly, people were already speculating about Peter Parker's involvement with the Avengers game because the second Spider-Man game, you know, the one after the most recent one I mean, will feature Miles Morales instead. And some said that that frees Peter Parker up to play with the Avengers, as if he can only be in one game at a time. I don't know. But regardless, that does seem to be what's happened. And by the way, eventually Soul Calibur 4 did allow players on the opposite platform to buy the other platform's character. Eventually. They haven't said Spider-Man's a timed exclusive, but why would they sit on potential sales? Then again, why do this at all? I keep asking the same question, don't I? I want to know who is responsible for this decision, who around them didn't stop them, and who exactly that side of the demon boardroom thought that this was a good idea. This isn't good for the game, it's not a good look for the ones who made it, and it sure as shit dries in the sun isn't good for the players. Yes, there's a temptation for PlayStation owners like myself to go nah 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 while sitting across the school cafeteria from the Xbox crowd waving your shiny new web shooters at them, but usually when one publisher does something shitty to its player base that turns out to be a big money maker, they all start doing it. To the point where everyone gets incredibly pissed off about it, raises holy hell, and the publishers say, "Oops, we didn't mean it. We're a caring company. We promise we won't do it again," and turn towards the next big wallet raping player off pissing idea, and the whole thing starts all over again. which is precisely why they need to be cut off at the dick early, so they can't fuck our bank balances or deprive us of certain content. Because even if it doesn't impact you directly, it's not in your interest to let such things fester, because it will go gangrenous. I had just finished recording the audio for the video, and I went online to check for some images to put on screen while I'm playing the video, while I'm droning on and on about this thing. Images like this one. But here's the thing, I was going online looking for these images, and I suddenly tripped over some additional news that PlayStation owners are going to get even more free shit. The PC and Xbox aren't. And I'm laughing to myself right now, but it's because I am totally confused. Why are they doing this? I keep asking the same damn question. I don't see what they have to gain by this. Why are they irritating? I can see people commentating online and saying things like, oh, I'm cancelling my Xbox order now, I'm cancelling my PC order now, and some of them are just cancelling outright, and some of them are, not unsurprisingly, shifting to PlayStation. If this is some kind of, I don't know, some kind of PlayStation Sony deal that Square Enix have done with them, at this point, why don't they just make it a fucking PlayStation exclusive game? Why are they even bothering to release it on any other platform if they're going to give the PlayStation owners? I've no doubt that all this extra free shit is pure cosmetics. There's like outfits and other stuff, and there's like super moves that won't do any extra damage, I don't think. It just changes the style of super moves, but it'll still let you show off to everyone watching, you know what I mean? And again, I don't get it. Why are they going in all out with the PlayStation and not so much with the other platforms when they're releasing it across everything? Why not just make it a Sony exclusive game then? I really don't understand this, and I'm even more confused now that I've heard this extra bit of news. Now, I'm minded at this point to bring up the point where if you buy the Avengers on the current gen console, then you'll get a free upgrade to the next gen version of the game when that version comes out, when that console comes out. Both for PlayStation and Xbox, weirdly. I'm guessing it'll be a digital upgrade, it'll be a digital download. But I'm wondering, again, I'm going to come across as a bit paranoid conspiracy theorist, but I wonder if Sony is doing this on purpose to try and win the console wars in the next generation, because they've already won this generation, and I don't give a toss about console wars. I just buy my console and play it, you know, that's something for the executives to argue the shit about. But I wonder if that's what Sony is trying to do here, by loading the PlayStation version up with extras, so that everyone has to jump across to PlayStation. I wonder if they're trying to get ahead of Xbox in the console wars before it's even started. I mean, there was that guy most recently, wasn't there, Gabe Newell, who was saying that Xbox Series X is better than PlayStation 5. I don't know, maybe this is them responding to Sony, or Sony responding. I just think the console wars have already started. And we're just sort of, we're caught in the middle. We're the gamers, the bystanders. We're not really involved as such. We're just watching them trade shots and trying to keep our heads down. At least that's how I feel. So yeah, even more exclusive fuckery. I just hope that Xbox games don't start doing that, because then we on PlayStation are going to start getting pissed off, aren't we? It's only a matter of time before they all start doing it. It always is.